Chien Pao EX and Baxcalibur from Paldea Evolved bring a shivery chill to standard format in this brand new deck. Chien Pao EX finds basic water energy with its ability, which you can attach as often as you like thanks to Baxcalibur's super cold ability. These new water-type Pokemon cards are joined by some old favorites like Palkia VSTAR and Radiant Greninja to create an all-star lineup in this new deck. Today I'll be playing a deck list which recently placed top 4 at a championship event in Taiwan, and I'll leave the exported list down below. Don't forget to subscribe for more content like this, and let me know which Paldea Evolved decks I should feature next. Now, let's get into the battle with Chien Pao EX. Game 1, we are going second against a Lost Zone deck, and our hand is fine. We have a Radiant Greninja in the active and a Water Energy in hand, so we can at least conceal cards right off the bat. And we also have Lumineon, and Lumineon can get Irida, and then Irida gets Battle VIP Pass, and we're off to the races from there. The opponent's having a pretty average Lost Zone start here. 2 Comfies and a Greninja. They'll go ahead and concealed cards, flower select, start building up the Lost Zone, and we'll get to see what kind of Lost Zone deck they are playing soon, hopefully. The opponent uses 2 flower selects, attaches a water energy to Greninja, and passes. Now we do top deck Frigibax there, and before I do anything with Lumineon, we're going to use concealed cards. I got Battle Pass, so I can go ahead and start getting Pokemon onto the bench. Now this deck list does not play Manaphy, but that's okay, because if they take out our Frigibax, we use Palkia. And Palkia is going to be really good because of that. They can either target down the Frigibax or the Palkia, and that goes for any deck that you're playing against. They can't take out both of them at the same time. And of course, the reason why you'll need either Frigibax or Palkia is because their evolutions, Baxcalibur for Frigibax and Palkia VSTAR for Palkia, are both the ways that we're going to accelerate energy in this deck. And Chien Pao needs a whole lot of energy on board. Radiant Greninja needs 3 energy to attack. Palkia VSTAR actually is a really efficient attacker. It attacks for just 2 energy for a maximum of 260 damage. So Palkia VSTAR gets a lot of use just being the more efficient attacker. And I kind of like our spot here. So like I said, I have the Frigibax down. I also have the Bidoof that can't be hit by damage on the bench because of its ability. So that's really, really useful here. And that's kind of why you can play this deck without Manaphy, because with this kind of setup, they can only Radiant Greninja Moonlight Shuriken to take a single knockout on the Frigibax and then put 90 elsewhere. And is that really worth it? They have to make that decision. If they do that to take out the Frigibax, then I just accelerate energy with Palkia VSTAR's VSTAR ability. So yeah, and we also have Irida in the hand already, which is going to be great because I can just get Rare Candy for the Baxcalibur if I really need it. If I don't want to go that route, we can always Ultra Ball away energy, get Palkia VSTAR down, then use Iono. Iono is really good against Lost Zone decks because they build up a sizable hand. As you can see there, they have 9 cards in hand. Now they have 10 after the concealed cards. The risk with my board, the risk is that I'm running the 60 HP Frigibax because it has 1 retreat cost, and if they could have gotten to 10 cards in the Lost Zone, they could lost mine both the Bidoof and the Frigibax. But even then, it wouldn't be the end of the world. I still have the Palkia VSTAR, and I can make plays because of that. So they did not get Manaphy down, and that means I can actually use Moonlight Shuriken, and I can take out 2 Comfies this turn. Ultra Ball for Bibarel. And then I have 3 supporters to choose between here. We'll go ahead and use the Irida. That is going to grab a Rare Candy and a Chien Pao EX. I don't need the Chien Pao right now, but we have to get a water Pokemon with the Irida, so we'll go ahead and grab it because it's going to be useful. Even if we don't want to attack with it, it's still good for getting energies with its ability when it's in the active position. Now, I believe I have 3 energy in the discard. I have 2 energy in the discard. So it looks like I'm going to just have to attack with Palkia or Chien Pao. Actually, it's going to have to be, yeah, it's going to have to be Chien Pao. So I'm not getting that Moonlight Shuriken this turn, unfortunately. But like I said, Chien Pao can get energies. Sometimes it's useful for that, and here we go. So retreat. and then I can Shivery Chill to search for 2 water energies, and then use Super Cold to attach those however I'd like. I really just need 2 energies on the board to discard for Hail Blade, and then I can Super Cold this other energy wherever I want. And then Hail Blade will knock out the Comfy. I have to discard 2 energies from my board to do a total of 120 damage. And I take a prize card. So I don't love leaving that Chien Pao EX out in the active. The opponent can use a Raikou or a Dragonite to take it out. I really wanted to get that Moonlight Shuriken turn, but I did not have enough energies. This deck would have loved Capacious Bucket, which rotated recently, like the Palkia VSTAR and Teleon deck played in the pre-rotation format. But Chien Pao EX's ability does the same thing as Capacious Bucket. The only issue is you have to get it into the active spot, and then if you want to attack with a different Pokemon, you have to get it out of the active spot. And that was the problem I ran into in this game. So the opponent gets Raikou V onto their bench. This Chien Pao could definitely be going down this turn to the Raikou V's Lightning Rondo. There's a Mirage Gate. We'll probably see a Lightning Energy +1 going onto the Raikou. There it is, Lightning plus Psychic. And they still need 1 more Pokemon on the board to get the knockout, because right now they're doing 200 damage with Lightning Rondo. So they'll bench Crimorant and still no Manaphy on their board. I wonder if they forgot that they should get it, like they're just misplaying, or is the Manaphy prized? So Palkia VSTAR is a good choice to send up because I can just knock out that Raikou with it. And if I can send it to the Lost Zone with Lost City, hopefully we draw into it, and there is the Lost City. So we can actually Lost Zone this Raikou, and they probably have nothing else that can one-shot my Palkia VSTAR, and that's going to be pretty rough for them. Of course, Lost Zone doesn't always try to one-shot things, but when I have a very efficient attacker like this and they just knocked out a 2-prizer, I'm going to knock out a 2-prizer. They would want to knock out a 2-prizer back. So I'll play down that Lost City, draw 3 with Bibarel, and then Subspace Swell. We'll hold on to that last energy. No need to attach it somewhere when we might want it in our hand instead to concealed cards or attach to a Pokemon that's not down yet. And the opponent does not want their Raikou V going to the Lost Zone, and they scoop. Okay, game 2, we're going second against another Lost Zone deck with Radiant Greninja in the active. Does this look familiar? So we have double VIP Pass and an Iono. Those Battle VIP Passes will certainly get played. We'll have to see what the opponent does. If I think their hand's poor, then maybe I hold on to the Iono. I also already have Rare Candy Baxcalibur in my hand, so I might not want to... Ooh, and a Bibarel. So now I just have so much going for me. I probably don't want to even play that Iono. So Battle Pass for Bidoof, Frigibax, Palkia, and Chien Pao EX. I don't have any energy in hand on the board in the discard pile, but like I said, I have Bibarel to evolve, and I have Baxcalibur Candy to evolve. I have Iono for next turn to get a new hand of 6. So I can just pass here and hold my hand because it's really, really strong. And the opponent seems like they're off to a little bit of a slow start. They Flower Select, and then they do have Colress's Experiment. They couldn't play it last turn, obviously, because they couldn't play supporters yet. But now they'll have 4 cards in the Lost Zone after this Colress, I believe. They can go ahead and get more into the Lost Zone with this next Comfy. And they have that Giratina V on the bench, which I would love to try to knock out next turn. And they bench another Giratina V, perhaps in case I knock out the first one. And they retreat, and they're going to Abyss, seeking to rack up some more cards into the Lost Zone. That's really risky, but I suppose they're just going to accept that this Giratina V is going down. They get to build their Lost Zone, build their hand more. And they have an 8-card hand that we are going to Iono this turn. Rare Candy down that Baxcalibur, slap the Iono. There goes their 8-card hand to the bottom of their deck. What's really nice about that Iono is that if they had particularly useful cards in their hand, those are now specifically at the bottom of their deck, and they're going to have to shuffle their deck to get them, shuffled back into the rest of the cards. Ultra Ball away, Battle Pass, and Water Energy. That's kind of an easy choice. And go ahead and grab Palkia VSTAR now. And we also have the Baxcalibur already rare candied down. I'm not going to need another Baxcalibur because even if they do knock out the first Baxcalibur, that's when we'll just use Palkia VSTAR's Star Portal ability to accelerate more energy to the board if needed. And play my hand down to 0 and Industrious Incisors, get that last energy card that I needed. And now Moonlight Shuriken for 2 prizes, knocking out both of their Comfies. So they just have 2 Giratina Vs left on the board. And so now those Comfies were their support. They helped them get cards into the Lost Zone, but it also essentially draws 2 cards, keeps 1 of them. So we just Iono'd their hand to the bottom and took away the only support Pokemon that they had on the board, which should be pretty devastating for them. Now my Palkia V-Star might be a target from their Giratina, but like if they knock out Palkia, then I just use Super Cold to power up Chien Pao and then knock out Giratina V-Star. If they knock out Baxcalibur, I actually can't knock them out next turn because Chien Pao does 60 for every water energy. Actually, no, if they were to boss up or cross switcher or something crazy like that, bring up Baxcalibur, knock it out. I do have 1 energy on the Greninja already, so I could have a total of 5 energy on board, attach for turn plus Star Portal for 5, and then 300 on the Giratina V-Star with Chien Pao's Hail Blade. But I don't think any of that is going to happen. It looks like we'll probably just lose this Greninja. There's Jet Energy to the Comfy, bringing it up into the active so they can dig through their deck a little bit more. Probably looking for Giratina V-Star at this point. There's Cramorant. They actually haven't attacked me yet, which is kind of funny. So yeah, they're just going to Cramorant my Radiant Greninja for 110 with Spit innocently. And I'm going to start taking 2 prize knockouts here. I already took 2 prizes on that turn with Moonlight Shuriken, but now I'm going to boss KO a Giratina this turn. So I'll play the Skaters Park, which gives me back my energy when I retreat, which is very cool. And I actually don't have energy in my hand other than this 1 to accelerate with Super Cold. So I'm going to just be using Star Portal this turn to get some energies onto the board. But I can also use Super Cold if I were to draw into more energies, but that's not going to happen this turn. I just have that 1 in my hand, which I can just manually attach if I wish to. So yeah, that 1 will go to Chien Pao EX. And I'll just thin the deck out there in case of Iono, in case of Roxanne, get some more cards with Industrious Incisors, and then attach more energy to the board with Super Cold. So if they were to boss knock out my Baxcalibur, I have all this energy already on the board, even though I've used Star Portal for Palkia. And I also got rid of that Path to the Peak, allowing me to use Star Portal with the Skaters Park. So that stadium was really crucial to that turn, even though it might not have seemed like it did too much. So now we have a 2-6 prize card lead. They bench Sableye, and there is the Roxanne. So they'll go Lost Mine Roxanne here, but I really don't see a comeback being possible for them. I have a pretty established board. They're not knocking out anything this turn unless they choose to knock out my Bibarel. That's no, they can knock out my Greninja, my bad. So they can knock out my Greninja, so I'll just send this up with Escape Rope, but I actually should have just sent up a Chien Pao and win the game. Like, just sending up a Chien Pao guarantees the win, so I should have sent that up. Because, like, even if they were to send up Giratina, Mirage Gate Evolve, knock out my Chien Pao, I don't really care, because then I just knocked them out with the other one. I just made it harder for myself here by sending up this Radiant Greninja. I kind of just assumed that they were knocking it out, but we should never assume what the opponent's going to do. I don't have any energy in my discard pile, so I can't super energy retrieval for it. So like I said, the Chien Pao should have just been active, we boss KO and win. But that's not the case here, so I'm going to go ahead and Irida for Escape Rope, and yeah, thin the deck out with that Palkia. We'll grab that too with the Irida. So Escape Rope will at least allow me to attack, but they're going to send up a single prizer, so we don't win the game yet. I should have won I should have won this turn, but I sent up the Radiant Greninja instead of the Chien Pao. I should have just thought about that a little bit harder. I just went with my very first plan on the Radiant Greninja, and sometimes if you think you have a good plan, make sure you don't have a better one. That is, it's hard to learn, because once you have your good idea, you just want to run with it, but sometimes it's worth waiting a few seconds to see if a better idea comes around. Course's experiment. This game looks like it's just about over. But by the way, guys, if you are interested in my coaching services or my VOD review services, you can check out my Metafy link in the description down below. I have a few different types of sessions and training plans that you could check out there. And also, if you become a member using my membership link in the description down below, you will be directly supporting my channel and my content, and also saving some money on coaching sessions. So we did win there against the Lost Zone Giratina, and now I have myself a mirror match against a Chien Pao deck, and I'm going second this time, but that's okay, because Irida for Battle Pass is pretty darn good when going second. The opponent is getting a pretty good start themselves. They have double Chien Pao EX, they have Radiant Greninja, they have Palkia, they don't have any Frigibax. We'll start things off with an Irida, and that's certainly going to be grabbing a Battle Pass here, and the Radiant Greninja, so that's 3 water Pokemon. Before the Battle Pass, though, I'll concealed cards to see if I draw into any of the things I was going to Battle Pass for. Then I'll Battle Pass for 2 of the cards that I need. I don't really need Chien Pao. What I need are these Frigibaxes, but they could Radiant Greninja my Frigibax, so it's kind of confusing what I should get. They could also boss KO my Palkia. I think the best thing might just be Palkia and Frigibax. I get 1 of each. Yeah, so Palkia and Frigibax, that way if they boss KO the Palkia, I'm fine. If they Greninja the Frigibax, I'm fine. I can do something with something next turn. And where does this energy go? Do we even use it? We have Ultra Ball, which we can use the water energy for Ultra Ball fodder. If they don't, Iono us or judge us. So I like holding on to the energy here, because it's also good for using for concealed cards. We can also use it to retreat if we need to, instead of putting it on a Pokemon that we might not want to attack with anymore next turn. The energies are pretty fluid in this deck, as long as you have a way to get an energy accelerator up next turn. So, and we do. We have Frigibax that can go Candy Baxcalibur. We have Palkia VSTAR, which can easily just evolve into Palkia V. We have Palkia V, which can easily evolve into Palkia VSTAR. So I do get Iono'd, and this hand is not as good as the last one. It's fine, I guess. But it looks like the opponent is not going to be doing anything either. They did not get Palkia VSTAR, and they also don't have a Frigibax on the board, which we can definitely take advantage of. Oh, this boss's orders can be huge. Now, if we concealed cards into Palkia VSTAR, I'm just going to boss KO their Palkia. Okay, we get Ultra Ball, so that's Palkia VSTAR right there. And we can also discard energies if we need to for more star portaling. But I do also need to retreat, and so I'll get rid of that Iono, because I want to use the boss this turn, and then I have the Lumineon for anything I might need next turn. So what I actually should have done here was attach to the Radiant Greninja first, and then retreat and Ultra Ball away. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. No, this is okay, because I would have had to discard the superior energy retrieval if I did it the other way around. So I think this is fine. And then we will knock out the Palkia V with Subspace Swell for 220, which I have just enough on the bench. They have just enough on the bench to hit 220 perfectly. If I need to evolve into Frigibax next turn, I have the Lumineon to grab Irida. And if they knock out my Frigibax, or I'm sorry, yeah, my Frigibax, but they can't. They can't knock out anything because they didn't have a twofold plan like I did. You need to have that Palkia V and the Frigibax down, or you need to have double Frigibax. But if it's against a deck that can Moonlight Shuriken or knock out multiple Pokemon at once in any way, then you need Frigibax plus Manaphy or the Frigibax plus Palkia V like I did. So we could just continue taking advantage of them, and because of the Lumineon V that I held on to, I didn't get rid of that. I can play down Lumineon V, get Boss, and then take out their Frigibax, and then that's just game. There's no way they ever come back from this. Because they either had to bench double Frigibax or Frigibax Manaphy. We'll put down the Lost City for extra insult, and there we go. Hope you guys enjoyed this Chien Pao EX video, and I'll see you next time here on Celio's Network.